Welcome back to Life and Listings, the place where we talk real estate, life, and everything in between. I'm Agent Jay, and with me, as always, is Mr. Brad Gray.
Hello, everybody.
It's very, very exciting, Brad. We made it to Friday, Brad.
We did, and we survived the first day of January, and after that came nice weather.
We did it. We made it. Okay, enough with the claps. Everybody calm down on the set. We're all good. Okay, guys, we usually talk like real estate. We said we're going to do real estate, life, everything in between, right? Well, today it's going to start off with real estate. This is a bit of a controversial topic.
Was it ever?
Oh, it is. It is. It is. Guys, listen. So everybody knows Facebook. Everybody gets on Facebook, whether you're on there to have fun, you're on there, whatever you're on there for, to peruse and look at other people. Don't matter. You're there for Facebook. You're there to see what's going on. Well, guys, there's been a topic brought up, and I thought I would throw my 2 cents in because I told you guys before, right? It's not going to be, this is the happy real estate show and everything's great and real estate's the golden bridge. It's not like that. This is going to be very real, no matter if it's at the detriment of realtors or not. I'm going to bring up this topic, and this topic is seller's directions. And we spoke about this in our last podcast, but it was kind of really got into by a bunch of people on the Facebook platform in a negative light, more or less saying that realtors are the reasons why a lot of homes are going between $30,000 and $100,000 over asking. Now, my opinion on that. First off, what do you think about it, Brad?
About the seller's direction or everything going over for the
About
buyer that it's listed
everything,
for?
everything, brother.
I mean, when I saw the posts on the Facebook group I'm a part of, I understand both sides of it. People are going in, they got their budget set out. You go talk to your mortgage broker, you know what you can afford, what you can't afford, what's within your grasp. So you start looking at houses that are within your budget, and then all of a sudden your realtor looks at you and says, "Oh, well, this is going to be over your budget because houses are now selling for 30, 40, 50, 60, up to 120,000 over what people are asking."
Yep.
So that literally takes you out of the game for the houses you thought you could afford. In the same aspect, because of the way the market is, I can see why houses are going so high and all that. So when I was reading the post, it struck a little hard and that reading some of the comments and that there. And I'd like to think that they're misconceptions by people that don't understand the real estate industry. And that's what we're hoping to alleviate a little bit here when we're doing this podcast and that, shed some light on it because some people can look at us and think, oh, and actually one of the comments was, realtors are scumbags driving the market. It's like, yeah, okay, there's probably some shady realtors out there, but there's shady people in every line of work and all that. But I'd like to bring everything to light and let people see the inside of it. It's why we talked about doing this podcast, exactly the reason for it. We'll get rid of all the smoke and mirrors. People will have an in-depth look into what happens in the Newfoundland real estate market. And like we said on the first one, we'll have some special guests, hopefully from other markets in that as well. So you can see that it's not just happening here.
Yep, absolutely. And that's the whole thing, right? Is this is your guys' platform as much as it's ours, right? So, like I said in the last one, this is for the people. This is all about you guys, what you guys want to see, what you guys want to hear. None of the crap that makes everything look like real estate is, like I say, a golden bridge of success with loads of money and everybody's just, dressing perfectly and all this other. None of that kind of crap. We're going to be very honest with it because it's just the way to be. I was always brought up that a man is a man of his word. And if he isn't a man of his word, he isn't a man. So that's just the way that I am. Because when it comes to these sellers' directions, I mean, one of the biggest things and takeaways that I get from it is it takes the buying power away from, or the negotiating power away, sorry, from the buyers, right? That's the only thing I really don't like about it is it's kind of taking that away, right? If you go in and it's a night, you have four days to get all your viewings in, you get them all in. Sure, it's great for the sellers. That's awesome, right? As a seller, because I do both sellers and buyers. I deal with both, right? So as a seller, it's good because you got 4 days instead of a week that you're on the market that you may have a guy in 15 different times, and now you're every 5 minutes you're out of your house and you don't know what's going on. The seller's direction is there for them in that way, so they can only have their viewings in for those set days, right? So if it's say Friday to Sunday, it could be from 7 a.m. or 10 a.m. right till 7 p.m., 10 p.m., whatever it is that they want, right? So it works for them, and that's great.
Yeah,
It
it cuts back on, like, what we refer to as tire kickers. You got people who are just coming in looking at the house, not fully interested in it,
Yep.
whereas you got this set window, it gets people who are serious about the property, or sometimes you will get a tire kicker come in and look and just browse it, but they're not gonna take up all your time, waste
Yeah.
our time, waste your client's time. It's you gotta get in, get it done, and have it ready.
That's right. Look, guys, there's nothing worse than you put something up, even on Facebook Marketplace, okay, to put it on a smaller scale. And you got Marg down the street, and she's watching you all the time. She's sat in her window having a cigarette and a coffee pretty much all the time of the day, so much so the caffeine just don't do anything. You're wondering what's in her cup. But anyway, that's besides the point. She comes up and she's looking at your stuff and she's like, "Oh yeah, no, you should hold it on to me. Hold it on for me. I'll be back to get that." And then you just keeps looking down and Marg is still, she's still sat down drinking her coffee. And when it came time to buy it, Marg's not in the window. Marg's gone on vacation. And guess what? You could have four people buy your house and or whatever you got on for sale and you're not going to get it. Well, this is I know a much larger scale, but at the same token, guys, this kind of takes that away as well, right? A buyer that goes in, that takes a look at it, they know what they want straight off the bat. I'm going to go in and look at it. If they don't want it, then that's the end of that. But they're not going to go in and take a look if they know they only have so many days to get there, right? To take a look at it and know what they're going to do. But guys, I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, at the end of the day, it's good for the sellers, but now what does it do for the buyers, right? Well, for the buyers, there's a few positives. As much as it doesn't seem like there's a positive in it, right? There kind of is in a way, okay? For the buyers, it's kind of equal footing. At the end of the day, all of the offers are going to have to be in at the same time. So there's no way to bully offer what we call a bully offer, right? So you're saying like, what in God, like what's a bully offer? Let me explain a bully offer. A bully offer is someone puts their house on the market and goes in and says, listen, your house is up for 2 hours, you're asking 350, I'll give you 365 and you gotta answer me in an hour or I'm moving on to the next property. Nobody else gets a chance to see it, nobody else gets a chance to put a bid in. Could be somebody looking for months and months and they don't get a chance to do anything now because this person came in and bullied their way in basically of taking the offer, hence bully offer, right?
Would you compare that to, say, an offer if we're in at the brokerage talking to other agents and they had a buyer line up for a property that we have before it goes to the direction, would you call that a bully offer too?
Somewhat. It's somewhat like a bully offer. I mean, at the end of the day, if we're sat down at the brokerage, and that's one of the benefits, I guess, of being around brokerages. If you're sat down talking about a listing that you got coming up, and of course, we're all agents dealing with buyers and sellers and all different walks of life and all different situations. But if it comes to the point where you're like, okay, I got a house going on the market tomorrow, and someone's like, oh, geez, I'd love to take a look at that. I'm with my buyers for X amount of time. They can't get in to see anything. Can I pop in and see it? Sure, they go in and take a look at it, and still at the same token, they got to put an offer in, right?
Yeah.
But it still could be. I mean, that could still be considered a bully offer. At the end of the day, because they can come in and just be like, "I'm done," and that's it. You
Yeah.
got your house, and that's it. Don't
This
give
is
anybody a
well,
chance.
this is what they're spending, take it
Right.
or leave it sort of thing. So yeah.
Right, and it can also be the type of thing where, you're putting an offer in, there's no seller's direction, you're putting an offer in, somebody else is putting an offer in at the same time, but then someone says, "Okay, listen, you got 1 hour to get back to me." And you're saying, "Well, listen, I got like 3 or 4 viewings tonight." "Well, you only got an hour to get back to me." That's also bullying, right? There's bullying, and it's the same token for anything. I mean, you look at bullying and in that kind of light, because that's what it is. So, another kind of positive, I guess, to bring to light, it's more time to arrange your financing, inspections, decisions, stuff like that, right? So it gives you a little bit more time. Even though it's a bit of a crunch, you still you know that your offer's got to be in for that time, and it's a house you're set on. Then you should pretty much already be in the position where you've got your financing in place and everything else. I mean that should be commonplace, right? Straight off, anybody buying, make sure you got your financing, your pre-approval done. That's a silver bullet anyway.
Yeah.
So for any kind of offering situation,
Oh
right?
yeah, especially in today's market now, it's a deal breaker for a lot of things, especially with all these sellers directions now. It's you either have it or you don't, and they're not going to wait for you to say, "Oh, well, I got my financing now," and
Yep,
closing is
yep, that's right, that's
set
right.
on.
Now let's look at the negatives for the barbs. Okay, do a little look at that. Waiting can feel agonizing, especially in a low inventory market where there's multiple bids on multiple houses. Waiting to find out, like you put an offer in, and any realtor knows, and the public probably don't. But let me explain it. When you put an offer into another house, you can't put 3 or 4 offers out. You can't do that because you may get 2 or 3 of them that's accepted, and then that's a legally binding contract, right? So you have to only put out one offer at a time. So if you put an offer out on a property and it's not going to be you're not going to hear back from them until Monday, and then you're like, it's only Saturday, I'm going to go out now and have a bit of lunch with Susie down the road. All right, well, let's do that. And then you're out with Susie, and Susie mentions that her niece is selling a house, and you go to look at that and you're like, wow, I really like that house. You know what I mean? Well, now you got to wait. You have an accepted offer on this one. You can recant it, you can take it away, but especially if it gets an accepted offer and then you're waiting, same thing. And some bars, this is the big topic. This is the big one for bars, okay? Guys, I'm gonna cut it to brass tacks. This is no script. We're sat here basically at my kitchen table,
Just winging it.
just winging it. This is just what we do. This is our little comfort zone. but not at the same time because people are listening to everything we're saying, right? So we got to kind of watch what we're saying. But I got less of a filter than most people, and let me be honest with you guys. At the end of the day, am I a fan of sellers' directions? No. Okay, especially for buyers. The reason why is because people look at these houses that are 350 and they got a budget of say 450, 500. Okay, thousand. Then all of a sudden they're like, you know what? I love that house. I'm going all in. There's four bids going in. Put an extra 100 grand on it. I want this house.
especially in a market like this where there's no inventory. So,
Hmm?
people
Absolutely.
sort of panic buy and it's like, "Oh, well, I really love this house, so I'm gonna go to the max with it," when it's probably not needed.
No, absolutely. And then at the end of the day, guys, that drives up the market, hence what people are saying. And guys, listen, you're not wrong. What you're saying in these posts and stuff and your views on it, that's not wrong. That's your opinion on it, just like anybody else's opinion. But some of it is backed up. I mean, you can look at it and see that the market is going up. I mean, a lot of the houses now that you get for 450,000 realistically should be between 350 and 380, you know? Or you're going into the house that's aptly priced and then you're going 50 to 60, 70,000 over to get it. Sometimes even not putting a home inspection in, which is like,
Oh, I never go without home inspection. We touched on that in the last show too.
"Oh, we
It's
did."
like, eh, going without a home inspection to me is like going into a house blind and just why even go through it and look at it if you're just gonna go without a home inspection? You're just better off buying the property as is and look at a couple of pictures for it instead of waiving your home inspection.
100%. And I don't agree with that either, right? Like, you know, like home inspections are a must in any kind, anything, anything, inspect anything.
Yep,
You go to buy something off Facebook Marketplace. If it's a coat, you try it on before you buy it.
that's right.
You know, it's the way that it is. But guys, people go higher because they want to win, right? They want to feel like I got that call, I won the bid, that's great, but you didn't win. You didn't win. Nobody in this case is winning. And this may not be very popular with different agents and different brokerages. This may not be popular with sellers that sell all sorts of properties. I've got a listing coming up today, right now, and I'll touch on that in a minute as well. But the thing about it is this: at the end of the day, guys, you don't win anything going above what the house is actually worth, right? Because then when you go to sell that in 5 years, which I always say a 5 years plan, right? I always have a 5 year plan because you don't know in 5 years what's going to happen. You may take this house and in 5 years, you may get relocated to a Colorado. Or you may have a family member pass away, or that was living with you. Knock on wood, that don't happen. Or you have more children than you anticipated, and you only wanted one. Now you got twins, or maybe guess what, triplets, and you're like, well, like we can't stay here anymore.
That's right.
Life happens, right?
Yeah, and, any big life event like that could change your situation and change the house that you're currently in, or even if you're a first-time home buyer, it's really daunting for someone being a first-time home buyer because you don't have that other house behind you with that you probably got some money paid into that already, so you can't go looking to upgrade. You got a lot of first-time home buyers out there looking at these homes that should be affordable, $300,000, $250,000 homes, and now all of a sudden they're having to pay 350,000, $400,000 for a starter home, and it's like, it's pretty daunting for 'em and all that. It can feel discouraging, and there were some posts on that as well talking about it. It's like, how can people afford a home as a
Yeah.
first-time home buyer? And it's quite difficult now.
Yeah, and that's my concern, right? When regular people that are just trying to get by and they're trying to get their first home together, and maybe they're not at their job for 20 years and have some disposable income at their disposal. I guess for the lack of a better term, two
Yeah,
disposals in one. But anyway, and that's the thing. Like you're not winning. You overpay for a house, and then you're in that house for 5 years. And if you ever want to go to sell that house again, you're very rarely going to get back what you actually put into that house unless the market continues to rise. Now, guys, we've seen a big rise in houses since COVID, which was a real big thing with real estate. We honestly didn't think as realtors that it was going to be that way, to be honest. But it started to go that way, right? And the market's been, year over year going up. Okay. Like, medium ranges are going up. Houses and the way that they're being priced. I mean, 97 statistically now, okay, just to talk a boring stat for a second. 97% of houses that's put on the market now, especially here in Paradise, right? That's where I'm at, is in Paradise. 97% of the houses that go on the market get more than asking by between $30,000 and $70,000 on average. On average. That's disgusting. And as a realtor that sells houses, no, I'm not about the commissions. I can't speak for every realtor. I can't speak for every realtor out there. I've met a lot of great realtors, and I've been very, very blessed that way. I really have met a lot of really good people out there with some good views. I can't speak for everybody, but I'll tell you this, okay? I don't believe that going out to market, selling a house for $100,000 with price tags in your eyes, and oh yeah, I sold it for, and bragging about it. I don't think it's the right thing to do. I think in the end, in my opinion, And again, this may not be popular, but again, this is not a show for me to be popular. This is for my platform and your guys' platform to be able to speak your mind and not be judged about anything. It's the way that it goes. People judge you for who you are and what you're going to do, but not this place, not where we are. It's like this. I don't agree with it. I don't like it. Yes, everybody likes selling houses because that's sellers is where your actual money is going to come from. Having a listing is almost like having guaranteed money, right? Because somebody's going to want that house, and there's a lot of beautiful
Course,
homes,
yeah.
right?
Oh, there are. Well, there's not enough beautiful homes. That's why we're in the bind we're in now with the housing market.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there you go, and that's what's going on, right? So, I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, it's good. It's good to make a good living, but I don't think that it should be at the detriment of anybody else. Now, having said that, sellers' directions. Okay, although maybe some realtors kinda pitch them, because we have to give everybody the option, okay? Same as anything else. If I go in and speak to somebody selling their house, I'll say, "Okay, listen, like, well, this is what your house is worth. This is the lower end of what it's worth if you want a quicker sale. This is the higher end if you want it to sit there. Sitting there is not a good thing. Usually, it's like a two-week bell curve here,
Yeah.
right?"
And then you run in the risk of if you have your house overpriced because on that post, they're like, well, why don't you just post your price as what you want to get out of it and what
Hmm,
this 70 to $120,000 over could be.
hmm,
So if we're listing house at 350, put it up for 470 because that's what you're going to get. But that deters people from going in because if we listed a house at 470,000, people are still going 30, 40,000 over that, especially if you have a seller's direction,
yeah,
where that $470,000 house is now a $500,000 house, which initially was a hundred or $350,000 house. And then people aren't gonna go in at it at that, and it's gonna sit on the market, and then people are gonna start questioning, "Well, what's the issue with this house? How come this hasn't sold?" Because the house down the street was up for 3 days and sold, and like you said, the average is 2 weeks.
yeah,
So, any house that sits on the market after 2 weeks, people are starting to question, "Well, why hasn't it sold? Is it overpriced? Is there issues with it that the people went in and saw? What's wrong with it? Why hasn't it sold?"
yeah,
So, that's why you need to market it properly and put it where you should, and with, the seller's directions, I find that kinda takes that away a little bit because you create sort of a bidding war with it, right?
yeah,
Unless it's priced too high, and if you have a seller's direction and you're not getting any bids on your house within the week or 2 weeks, however long your period is, you've definitely got that property priced too high because
yeah,
normal houses now I went and looked at one, 2 weeks ago, and when the direction was ending, it ended up having, I think it was 8 or 9 offers on it
yeah,
within that span, and it was only up for 4 days on the market, and there been 8 offers on it because it was a reasonably priced
yeah.
house.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And usually, like I say, a bell curve between a week and 2 weeks, right? You got a seller's direction and it's priced adequately and you get people coming in looking at it, then you're gonna get an accepted offer within that first week. Now, if not, then you kind of, adjust a little bit if you have to, and you go back and you got usually 2 weeks, right? But if something sits more than that, I mean, guys, it's gonna tell you something. The market is speaking to you at its own game, right? But like I was saying, I give everybody the same options and I go through everything. And I mean, I've been asked, how do we get that thing where it's only a couple of days and we get the bidders in? Now, this only came into play realistically in the last few years, this seller's direction, right? Now, up away, this has been on the go for years.
Yeah, they call it offer night, I
They
think.
call it offer night, right? And it kind of keeps everything kind of simple and easier for the sellers up there. Because at the end of the day, the ones that choose to put the seller's direction on ultimately is the sellers,
Yeah.
all right?
It's literally a direction that comes from them. It's
Exactly,
in the name itself, it's a seller's direction to the
exactly.
realtor to only accept offers at this point because they wanna try to market their house better.
Exactly. And so, like, when you think about that, it's not the realtors that are driving it up, right? And again, this is just my opinion. I know I'm a realtor, but I'm very honest. And if it was something that we were doing wrong, which I don't agree with the seller's directions,
Yeah.
but other than that, I mean, if it was something that I knew, like, you know what, this is an issue, I would voice it here because this is myself and Brad's platform, and we can say whatever we like on this, and there's nobody going to tell me
Well,
otherwise.
within
Well,
reason.
well, in reason.
The review board may say something if we
We
get
gotta
too
be careful.
right.
Yeah, but, we could listen, man, as far as I'm concerned, we are besides, like, I don't even know, man, like, governmental people, okay? Governmental people is here to govern the people, yet help them, right? We're here to serve the public, and that's exactly what we do as realtors. That's my view,
Yep.
right? We're here to serve you guys. You guys are our business. That's the way that it is. So your guys' best interest, in my opinion, is my business. That's what I'm supposed to do. As your realtor, if you should use me as your realtor, whether it's buying or selling, I'm supposed to have your best interest at heart.
100%.
And that's it. Whether that's you use seller's direction or not, and I've advised against it many times, to be honest, many times. And it was never to the detriment of my sellers. It's just sometimes I think that it's just not warranted. I'm not in agreement with them anyway, to be quite frank. But I mean, it is what it is. At the end of the day, I'm one voice, and maybe two with Brad's, few
Well,
others.
I agree, I don't like them either. I mean, I look at it and see with our current market, the lack of houses that we have, the demand for housing, if you put your house up on the market for a reasonable price and you don't have anything like we said, within that 2-week bell curve there, if you haven't had any offers on it within that time frame, you've either got a price too high or you're in an area that people don't wanna live in or something along those lines. There's some issue there if you can't sell your house without a seller's direction in that time period. You may end up having to lower your price, you may end up having to market it better, or, I mean, if you tried it without one, you may even need to put in a seller's direction to
Yeah,
try to spark that, like, put chum in the water to, create a little bit of a frenzy around it.
yeah.
It's just I mean, at the end of the day, it's a tool that we can use in order to market a house, but it's a tool I would prefer not to have to use like yourself.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Because again, like I say, at the end of the day, guys, I believe that, whether these sellers' directions stick around for the long haul or they stay here for short term and are gone, which I don't know which way it would go. Because there are some realtors that enjoy them, right? There's some realtors that live by them and they're like, like they're primarily a seller's agent and they work well for 'em and they enjoy them. And, it's less hassle on their sellers and it creates competitive tension for the buyers and, you know, drives the price well above ask, so it makes him seem like a real success in the seller's eyes, right? But I think the real success, honestly, is just serving the people, man. Serve the people, be good to them, be honest with them, and that's it. That's the end of the day. This is what I'm here for.
100%. That's literally what our business is. We're here for the people, it's trying to guide them. You get people that are going to sell the house on themselves, for sale by owner and stuff like that, or people that'll try to purchase a home by themselves, which is all well and good for them, especially if they're familiar with it.
Yeah,
But it's literally our job to help people with buying their homes and trying to guide them down the correct path and make sure everything's done properly. Yeah, you're gonna have bad experiences with realtors. We're human, we make mistakes. Nobody's perfect, but we have the tools at our disposal. We have the familiarity, we have the rapport with other realtors that we can lean on to help people with that. Um, the only other thing I'd like to add, with regards to the seller's directions and just some of the I'll call it a myth that I saw on the post there. Someone literally believes now a lot of people came to our defense and said it's not the realtors, it's the market and this and that.
yeah,
But saying that we're driving up the list prices of homes. When we price out a home, we use a tool called the CMA. And that gives us it'll look at comparable homes in the area and you put in if one house has one more bedroom, it gets a positive number. If it has one less bedroom, it's a negative number, and all the features of the house go in it. And then the system literally tells us what you should market this house at.
yeah,
So it's not even us setting the price, it is based on the entire area. And we basically look at it in a fine-tooth area where we do a refined search just to see in that area and comparable homes what they're selling for. Because a home out here in Paradise, we could take this home and copy and paste it and put it down the east end of St. John's, and you could get $200,000-300,000 more for it depending on
depending on what
location
it is.
alone, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's one of the tools we have to use it that helps set the price. So it's not just us pulling a number out of the air, talking to our clients and saying, "Well, this is what you're gonna put your house at." We have tools, we look at information, put it all together, and sometimes you end up butting heads with your, seller because you might come in a bit lower than what they wanted
Yeah.
and all that. So, it's a fine line you gotta walk between what the system tells us is the low that we should put it up for and what's the high. And again, you wanna get that median amount that the system's telling us so you can market the house and make it more marketable for other people.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. At the end of the day, guys, when we're only working within the parameters of the market, right? That's all realtors are doing. And again, I'm not here to come to the defense of every realtor and real estate in general. I can only speak on my opinion, and that's what this whole thing is about, right? But when I seen that comment today, and myself and Brad were talking about it this morning over a coffee, I was like, you know what? Like, I think we should really chat about that today. Because as much as I want it to be a very much a variety show, and it's going to be a lot of things on here from, real estate to just everyday life, how things are going, everything else. I don't want it to just be real estate, guys, because at the end of the day, like I said in my last video or last podcast, sorry, I am doing videos too. See how I get mixed up? It's just raw and real. I'm not
Well, we're
editing
hoping to make
this.
this into a video podcast too,
Oh,
so
yeah, it
it's
will
nice
be.
for people to see us.
Yeah, it will be. But, the thing about it is, guys, is, we can only work with what we have. We can only do what we can do within the parameters. Like when we do a CMA or a comparable market analysis, that's putting your homes up against other homes that's for sale, that's sold within the last 6 months. And they're looking at everything from how many bedrooms, what style of house it is. And that's what we're getting our market values from, right? Basically looking at all that kind of stuff and where your house kind of fits in there. Do you know what I mean? And most times we'll give you a range of where it should be, right? But at the end of the day, I think that I know I'm not a fan of the seller's directions. I don't disagree with your guys' opinions. And again, I don't think there's any real bad opinion. It's your opinion, it's your thoughts. You know what I mean? It's the way that it is. Education is the biggest thing, right? So I would rather frame it this way. If you guys have any questions, any issues or concerns, right? Voice them as much in whatever way you want. But ask somebody that's in the real estate market. Do you know what I mean? Ask one of us and we'll be honest. The majority will be very honest with you. The majority will be very honest, right? And tell you the truth. I mean, if you guys want to drop any questions in the bottom of this video, go for it.
Yeah, leave a comment or anything, or is there our email on it at all, or do we have anything like that there yet? That's
No,
something.
not sure. I don't think so.
Yeah, you can even email us a question once we get our email up and running.
Yep.
I mean, I wouldn't even mind, say, if someone was a for sale by owner or something, even if they had some questions.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
the
Eh,
market's the market, and even if you're a for sale by owner and don't want to use a real estate agent, if you came to us with a question, I'd be more than happy to help you answer it, especially if it's something you're familiar with. And then we might even be able to find a buyer for you and bring it to you that way,
absolutely.
if you wanted it. But
Absolutely.
if you wanted nothing to do with realtors, I'm fine with that too. I mean, I just want to help people and try to get rid of some of the stigma apparently that's out there based on that post with realtors and that. So,
So basically, guys, the home or the seller's directions, they're not the best thing, and I think everybody outside of potential sellers are kind of seeing the sting of it now, right? They're kind of seeing what it's, the other effects, not the positive so much, but the negative effects and how it's affecting the actual market, right? Now we have to realize that that's not the only thing that drives the market up, right? We have to realize that there's homes, right? How many homes there is,
oh, yeah,
right?
lack thereof.
Lack thereof, absolutely. We've got a lot of, foreign investors in immigration. So families are coming here and looking for houses.
That was actually touched on in that post too. People, I was actually amazed at a lot of knowledge that was in that post
Yeah,
because a lot of people were talking about foreign investors and immigrants and stuff coming here as well. Which I mean, there's only so many houses you can have,
yeah.
so that'll drive up the market.
Yeah, and there's a lot. You know what? There's a lot of knowledge when it comes to a cause. You know, I love seeing these posts, right? Whether they're negative or positive or in between. There's a lot of knowledge in there. There's a lot of stuff in there that you guys are really touching on really valid points that I think could be something that should be addressed and should be brought up
Oh,
and spoke about, right? And that's the way that it is because not everything is just a conspiracy and this is that and that's the way. It's not.
and they're out to
It's
get you.
and they're out to get you,
We're not the
right?
boogeyman.
No,
We're
no.
we're people like you guys. We just chose a career in real estate, and that's the way it is for us.
Yeah, absolutely. The same thing as what we said last time. The reason why I'm a realtor and Brad's a realtor for the most part is so we can pretty much, lo and behold, be our own boss, not have to worry about, missing stuff with our kids. And that's a big thing. And being able to be there if we're needed. Do you know what I'm saying? But the big reason for me is because, again, I get to be part of your guys' memories. When you guys use me as a realtor, whether it's to sell your house and buy a new one, or you're a brand new buyer going in to buy your first family home, or you're downgrading, whatever it is. Okay. At the end of the day, guys, that's my pleasure because I'm getting to be part of your memories. I'm getting to help you find a place you're going to create memories with your family. And, that makes me really happy. It's always good to make good money, sure, yes, but it's not always about the money. You know what I mean? Yes, we all have to make money. And I seen one commenter a while ago. We should talk about commission rates. And we will. We'll touch on that in another one, 100%, because I don't shy away from hard questions.
Yeah.
I think that the benefit and the strength of somebody that is a good debater is that they can see both sides and argue for both sides. I think that makes you masterful at debating in any way. I said master debater there. So, that's all.
Gotta keep this PG.
Yeah, right. So, at the end of the day, that's my opinion. I should be able to argue both sides because, again, that's my opinion. But there are strategies that you can use, right? There are things that you can look at going in, knowing even that there's a seller's direction. There's things that you can do going in there to give you a better leg up. So let me give you some of those. So it's not always a negative thing, okay? First off, all right, when you look at the price of a house, okay, always remember now in this market, especially if it got a seller's direction, that's not what that house is going to cost. So whether your budget is 500,000 and this house is probably 449, that's not the house. That's not the price you're going to pay for that house. What you want to do is you want to ask your realtor, I would like the sold comparables for this house in the last 60 to 90 days. Okay. What are the sold comparables for this house? And that's going to give you a better indication of where you're going to sit at in those numbers. That's going to give you a better idea of what you're going to have to pay to get that house. Okay.
And
That's one thing that you can do.
and by sole comparable, they're not saying, "Well, oh, my neighbor's house sold for this price, and he lives 3 doors down." It's like, "Well, does your neighbor have a garage? Do they have more bedrooms? Do they have more bathrooms?"
Right. It's got to be a
When we say
comparable. Yeah.
yeah, when we say comparable, it's a house that is pretty similar to yours.
Hmm.
You can't expect to market a two-bedroom, one-bathroom house with no garage for the same price as a three-bedroom, two-bathroom with a garage house. So
Exactly, exactly. And the reason why I say between the last 6 months, I'd like to go in the last 6 months, right? And that's going to tell you things. You can do 6 to 9 months if you want. The reason why, guys, is because that is the current market now, right? If you look at last year, we're up from last year in a lot of aspects. So it's not going to give you a good indication. Well, last year, John bought his house it was up for 450 and he bought it for 465. Well, if John went to sell that house now, John probably would get 520. Right. It depends on the market, and the market's consistently fluctuating. Right now, mind you, it's fluctuating more up than anything else. But let me give you 6 moves that's going to give you the edge. Okay, give you an edge on offer night. How about that? Did that sound better? Oh, there you go. Yeah. All right. All right. Okay. Let's cut that out. Let's cut that. We're good. We're good. All right. Here we go. Get pre-approved. First thing. Okay. Make sure you're pre-qualified for what you're looking for. If the house is 350 and you know you're going to go above that, that is going to be a given, especially with a seller's direction. All right.
and touching on that, I wouldn't go above what you're pre-approved for just to try to say you got that win. Whatever you're pre-approved for, try to stay below it.
Yeah, absolutely. Another thing too, guys, right? Just to go on the pre-approved. If you're pre-approved for something, okay, and you get that bank letter or mortgage broker letter, listen, you're pre-approved for 500 grand. All that work you done out in the oil sands and the offshore, you got $550,000 to play with. Good for you. That's great. You're only at it a year. That's awesome. When you come back, okay, don't go buy a $150,000 truck because you're going to live out of it if that's the case. You're not going to get your house. It's not going to happen, right? No big purchases. Don't do that, okay? That's just what you're pre-approved. Limit your conditions. Offer nights in Newfoundland right now, where the market is beginning to heat up, and I mean it's now starting to heat up. Offer nights can be really trying for everybody, okay? On the buyer's end, more so. Guys, before the offer night, make sure that you limit your conditions. You don't ever say no to a home inspection. I know people are saying no to a home inspection because, oh, this house is only 2 years old. Well, guess what? That house could have had anything happen to it, anything. And out of those 5 offers, you could be $10,000 less than the other guy. But because you don't want a home inspection, nothing's going to get found out. They're not going to be asked to go ahead and give you anything. So they're not going to go with you. They're going to go with people to say no home inspection. Now,
Might end up paying for it in the long run.
they're going to pay in the long run. Don't get rid of a home inspection, but limit your conditions. Try to make it as easy as you can, right? Work with the seller within their means to try to make it work with them, right? At the end of the day, when do they want their closing? Okay, fine. If we can do a close closing, we're pre-approved, stuff like that. Just nice and easy. Like usually it's if the survey is there, then that's fine. If not, if another one is ordered by a lawyer, then it's going to be 50-50 between the buyer and the seller. That's one of your conditions. These are ones that are on every basic contract. Okay. Second one is like fridge, stove, washer, dryer, dishwasher, whatever's there, draperies, window coverings, all that stuff's supposed to stay there. That's another condition, very basic condition. These are things that, like I say, is on everyone I've ever done, and many more people I've known. It's on every one of theirs. Number three, usually it's based on a final walkthrough slash kind of an inspection, like a very loose inspection of the property on the day of closing to make sure that It's in the same condition as it was when you seen it. Okay. Again, very basic stuff. All right. Um, and home inspection I always put in. I mean, it's just the way that it is. Whether it's a brand new house or not, anything could have happened. They could have had a 3-year-old that, it was a 2-year-old house. 3-year-old went and plugged the sink upstairs. They had a flood upstairs. Now everything's done, and it could have been done wrong. You don't know.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Insurances are great, but they're not going to go above and beyond for you. They kind of get it done, and that's it. And that could be an issue down the line. So don't ever give rid of your home inspections.
If the home inspection is the thing that breaks the deal, then you didn't want that deal anyway.
No, always look after your best interests. It's not always about winning the deal, right? Another one, guys, anchor to your sold comps. Okay, basically, what I mean by that is talk to your realtor. I want to buy such and such a house. Can you tell me in the last 6 months what did these houses go for? Okay, you'll get a better understanding. Now, it's not going to be to a T because nothing in real estate is ever really to a T. Okay, it's never going to be perfect. All right, but it's going to give you a better idea as to what you're realistically looking at going into a bidding war with anybody else. And this is just pretty much talking about your seller's direction lines, okay? Offer a closing date. So this is tip number 4 now. Offer a closing date that works for the seller. If you know the seller wants to sell fast, right, and it'll come up in negotiable or it'd say, price for quick closing or whatever it is, try to work with them and be like, you know what, we can close in 30 days. Because usually, typically, it's 2 weeks for your home inspection, 2 weeks within those same 2 weeks for your financing, which hopefully, like I say, we go back to tip 1, you're pre-approved already. Okay. And then right off the bat, then you're good to go. And then say, after those 2 weeks, if everything should go well with the lawyers, because that could be another thing, then you're good to go for those 30 days, right? And sometimes, guys, and this is going to sound funny, okay, to some people, write a letter. I've seen this work. I'm telling you from experience, I have had 2 houses late last year, close just because they wrote personal letters, right? You got to realize that Newfoundland, I mean, all of us as Newfoundlanders or even newcomers to Newfoundland, guys, this is a community.
I tell you, they wanted that.
What? A tight-knit one for the most part, right. And people have hearts here. It's not always about the money, even though it seems like it now, guys, because the seller's directions in the market. Now, I can't speak for everybody, but a lot of people, you write a short personal letter, explain to them, I'm a young family, this house certainly fits us. Explain why you're doing it. Explain your why to those people, right?
Exactly.
And not a chat GPT, not a Claude.ai, a real, from your heart, this is why I want this, okay? And it's gonna give you another edge on this. It is. And lastly, guys, and this is an edge, but not an edge. Set your walkaway price before your emotions kick in, right? And what I mean by that is if you know that you want to buy a house that's 450 and it's going to go for well over 5, know your walkaway price. Know your best. I always say this to my clients when we go in, and this is true. When you're going into a multiple bid situation, you always want to go with a price that you're comfortable going with, that you gave your best shot. If you get it, you gave your best shot, right? If you don't get it, you gave your best shot.
That's
If
right.
you do get it, you don't feel like you overpaid for it. So that's what I mean by set your walkaway price.
No buyer's remorse.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to go and be like, the house was up for 450. I paid 610, which is astronomical. I'm just being kind of like, out there now, but still set your walkaway price. Stick to it.
Yeah, that's what we touched on with tip 1, get pre-approved and all that, and try not to go too far over that.
Yeah. Yeah. Stay within it. Because, man, at the end of the day, guys, look, you're going to have to live there. You're going to have to be in those 4 walls that you overpaid for, knowing you overpaid for it. And you will certainly feel this thing in 5 years' time. Because if you overpay an abundance for a house, there's not going to be anything you do for that house besides build another house that's going to get you that money back. It's not going to happen.
Yep.
Right. And that's why I'm not a fan of these sellers' directions for that one reason. And another thing for the seller's end of it, guys, for the sellers out there that are talking about sellers' directions, no, I'm not a fan of them, but let me explain to you a reason why I don't like them for sellers either. You make the extra money on the seller's direction. Guess what? I paid 200,000 for my house. I sold it for 450. Man, that's awesome. Well, guess what? You got to buy a house now.
That's right.
So now you're in the same boat as the buyers.
Yep.
That's not going to be a good area for you, especially if the market keeps going the way it does. Right now, that's not to scare anybody, but this is an honesty show. This is not a everything is golden show.
And it is what it is. That's exactly what can happen there.
100%. 100%. And again, guys, you with your realtor, okay, you get yourself a good realtor, okay? You can even call us, give yourself a good realtor. Let us go over strategies before we get in there in a multiple offer situation. Let's go over strategy. Let's actually sit down, have a coffee, and talk strategy. Because if you go in with no strategy, they always say, right, preparing or failure to prepare is preparing to fail. If you go in with no moves and no kind of strategy and just going in willy-nilly and, oh, yeah, we'll just throw this at it with this and that should get it, it's not a way to go, guys. It's really not. It's not a way to go. It's shooting blindly, right? Give it your best shot, of course, yes, but make sure that you you'll educate yourself, and your realtor sits down with you and goes over things with you as well. And we'd love to hear from you. You can give us an email, keysandcoastlines@gmail.com. That's our email. Give us an email. Have a chat with us. Drop a comment down below. Let us have a talk.
And if it's something we don't know, we're part of the Exit Realty Aspire brokerage,
Yeah.
so we can run it off some of our other brokers that we partner with and all that too. So if there's a question myself or Jim can't answer, we got a full team behind us too that we can ask the question to. And some of the guys that we work with have a wealth of knowledge as well and years in the real estate business. So
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And even friends we have in our brokerages. I mean, as much as people say, "Oh, I like this brokerage," yeah, we don't like other bro. No, at the end of the day, guys, we're all under one umbrella, right? No, as for the way I look at it is, real estate is realtors are all under the same umbrella. We're all a family, no matter where we go. It's all different rooms, right? It's like they say, yeah, it's a big house with many rooms. You know what I mean? It's all just different brokerages, different ways of doing things, different business models, and that's fine. At the end of the day, it's everybody got valid reasons why they do what they do. But drop a comment, guys. Let us know. Let us know if you're a FISBO, which means for sale by owner. Okay. If you've been at it for a long time, guys, let me give you a bit of a tidbit of information. If you're on the market trying to sell it yourself, good on you. That's awesome. I wish you the best, and I really hope you get what you're looking for. Okay. But as a realtor, I will tell you this: realtors have just as much use as a mechanic. Okay. And I'll tell you why. I can go out and change tires on my car, no problem. I can go out and try to change a brake. I can try to know some stuff about it. But when it gets to the nitty gritty about it, I don't know. I don't know. You know a lot about your house as a for sale owner, and that's awesome. But when it comes to negotiating, this is what realtors do. This is what we do day in and day out. Negotiate prices, negotiate terms, less so now because of the seller's directions, but not every house has a seller's direction. So if you're not a people person that can talk and negotiate, it's to your detriment. It's to your detriment, 100%. If your house is sitting more than 2 weeks as a for sale by owner on marketplace, you're doing something wrong.
and I think one of the myths that people may have construed with for sale by owner, if I, as a realtor, was bringing a client to purchase your house, I'm still entitled to my share of the sale of that house, right?
Yeah,
That's how it goes. It's not that you're going to save all the 5%. I mean, you'll save some of it, but
yeah,
even if you want to work with a realtor, what we normally go for at 5%, that's not set in stone. We don't have to do 5%. We can do 4%. We can do other
yeah.
numbers. So just talk to us. We can work on something.
It's on. See, the thing about it is with real estate, guys, is there's not really a set percentage, right? People go by 5%. So we see lots of things out there. I don't know. It's 5% is this, and we can go this percent, or why pay that when you pay this, and at the end of the day, guys, look, we can talk numbers. There's not anything ever set in stone besides you selling your house and making sure that you get a good deal on what you want to sell, or you buying a house and making sure you get what you paid for, right? At the end of the day, that's our job as a realtor. Okay. Not that anybody wants to be looked at like the dollar shop of realtors, because that's a funny joke that goes around. Oh well, dollar shop. Look, at the end of the day, guys, it's not all about making money. But like I said earlier, guys, we're all here. We all have to work. We all have to make money to feed our families. And love and friendship don't pay bills. You can't look at the tax man or the heat light guy and say, "Listen, buddy, I'll give you 4 hugs, but he's gonna laugh at you, and then he's gonna think you're weird, and and he's probably gonna think he's gonna have to call the police or something. You know what I mean? And that guy. But that's the way that it is, guys. From people bagging groceries to people working on our cars to people serving our community, going out and shoveling snow and snow plowing and working on light poles. Everybody has a job. Everybody has a profession, and everybody wants to make money for what they do. Do I believe that any man is worth, all sorts of money, $100,000? Or no, I don't. I don't think that. And Brad can say he said it best the other day. When his pop was alive, he said, "I don't think any man's worth that." It's the way that it is, right? But everybody has to make an honest living, and the way that the price of everything is going up, guys. Not just the real estate market. Groceries is going up. Gas is up and down like a dog's guts.
Gas is a roller coaster.
It is. It's a roller
We will
coaster
get
of
to gas.
emotions.
Yeah.
Is what it is, because they're playing with you. One minute they're like, "Oh, it's 15 cents down." Oh, yeah, that's great. But now it's 17 cents up, and they'll laugh.
Well, they get you over 3 days, right? It goes up by, like, 5
Yeah,
cents, then 6 cents, and then
yeah,
it's like, "Oh, it went up 8 cents today," and it's like, "What? That's more than we paid for it last week."
yeah. And that's it. And it sucks. All that kind of stuff sucks. But the state of the world here lately, guys, and again, this is not a politics show, but the state of the world, guys, I mean, I think everybody's feeling this thing. Everybody's going there, right? Everybody's going there. Everybody's feeling things that they shouldn't ever be having to feel, to be honest. But here we are. And we're all in it together, whether we like it or not. It's the way that it is, whether we we believe in the same thing or we live in the same place or agree on everything. It doesn't matter. We're all in the same place. It's the way that it is. Right. Some people are a little luckier than others, and that's fine. But, at the end of the day, most of us are in the same boat. So like I say, I appreciate that comment on Facebook. And, if that person hears this podcast and you don't want your name out there, that's fine. Cause I know some people went anonymous in that
Yeah, a
post.
lot of people were anonymous on it and all that,
Yeah,
but it was a lot of insightful comments
it
there that,
is
it was great to see.
because they're not all wrong. Like they got a
Nope,
lot of valid points,
it
right?
does, yeah,
That's the thing.
definitely.
Right? I mean, real estate is not all smoke and mirrors and golden roads, right? Like I say, especially here, we're going to be a podcast for the people, which leads me to one of the things that I was excited to say, and I'm going to say it to see what you guys think about it. Every podcast has a room, right? And they're sat in their room and they're doing their podcast, and then they get up and go on about their day, like we're sat in the kitchen.
Yeah,
But I got a coffee and we're good to go.
thankfully, it's not the bathroom.
Well, it's not. Well, there you go. It's not the that'd be a weird one.
We'll
Bathroom
be
talk with Brad. That'd be, that'd be something, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, let's just talk about what pops out anyway. But but at the end of the day, this is what I'd like to do. I would like to take our podcast and do it out in public spots too, right? Like, like maybe Monday, if not Tuesday, we'll do a podcast and give you guys a heads up on one of our Facebook pages that we're gonna do it maybe from Starbucks. Or maybe we're gonna do it from Tim Hortons, or maybe we're gonna do it from, a
Oh,
park or yeah.
oh, okay, well, that depends on the weather. Well,
Yeah,
we
it depends on
can't do it on
Newfoundland.
Monday, we're busy on Monday.
Yeah, well, yeah, Monday we got things to do, but
That's
could
right.
be Tuesday. But like we want to start going out and doing it. And then if anybody knows and wants to pop on, have a chat, pop on into the podcast and be a part of it. Like I said before, this is going to be a different podcast than anybody has ever listened to. This is not about me sitting in the studio doing stuff. I don't even have a studio. I'm sat in the kitchen. It's got nothing to do with any of that kind of stuff. This is a platform for you guys as well. And I would be more than happy. Matter of fact, I would love it if we were out somewhere sat in public doing our podcast and someone come over and wanted to jump in. You are more than welcome. If you have any questions, concerns, you want to sit there and just rant. This is what it's all here for, right? This is what this is here for. I believe the podcasts are an avenue for people to express themselves, and that's it. That's why I wanted to do it because I got a lot of thoughts. Like I got ADHD, and my brain could be in 15 places at once. I could be focused on one thing and then squirrel, and then I'm forgot that and I'm on to something else. Only for Brad. I mean, in the real estate world, I mean, I'd be everywhere when it comes to that, right? It's the way that it is. But that's the fun in it too.
It is.
All right. It's like hanging around with that guy from over the hedge. The one who wants his cookies. He's freaking
Oh,
Steve
that's
Carell.
right, yeah, that's
Same thing.
exactly what
It's the same thing, right? It's swirling.
okay.
But like I say, I just wanted to make this podcast about that today because there was a comment to come up. Seen a lot of different things about it, and a lot of people have a lot of strong opinions about it, right? And a lot of them. I mean, I think that all your opinions are valid, whether they're negative or positive. I think they're all valid. Right? They're all valid in their own way, and I think they all got knowledge to take away from it and grow from it, and that's what we want to do. So, what else are we gonna do today, Brad? Like, what do we got? What are we gonna talk about now? We can talk about anything.
I don't know, I'm all out of ideas.
You're out of
I could
ideas.
end on a joke or something, I suppose, like the one I told you earlier.
Okay. All right. Listen, guys, this is gonna be a treat. All right. So you stuck by this long. Let us give you a treat back. All right. This is gonna be called Brad jokes, not dad jokes. This is Brad jokes. Okay. All right, Brad, go for it.
So in the first episode, I went through all my careers, and I kinda left one out. I wanted to be a fog salesman, you know? I was gonna bottle fog up, put it in jars, and sell it to tourists out of my fishing stage down the gut, and when I tried to capture it, I missed.
Yay! There you go. I know. Right? That's amazing. Brad jokes, everyone. Brad jokes. That's going to be a segment. I'm going to do a video on that. I'm really going to do a video on that. You guys are going to see it.
They were
Anyway,
gonna
guys.
try all the time too.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, you can't always take everything seriously. And this is what I mean by seriously. I spoke to a guy there after our podcast and said he said, "But you got to take real estate seriously." Absolutely. When it comes to the contractual obligations, when it comes to your closing dates, home inspections, making sure everything is good to protect you guys, yes, that's taken very seriously. But if we all lived in a serious world all the time and no one had any kind of fun or enjoyed anything, man, I tell you, it'd be an awfully gray world. This is the way that it is.
What's wrong with being gray?
See, this is the stuff I'm talking about. This is the stuff I'm talking about. Anyway, we're gonna we're gonna cap it off there now. Hopefully, you guys have a good weekend. We're gonna start open like putting more of these out there. I'm not gonna edit them because I'm not doing it. I'm just gonna put it out there, guys, because this is real talk from real dads who happen to be realtors. So that's just what we're gonna do.
Keeping it. Real.
Keeping it real in real estate. See, that's too cliche. Everybody uses that, I would say, wouldn't it?
Right. Maybe. It can be a bit cliche too. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I guess so.
There's only so many things you can go there to find, stick.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, well, we can do that. Keeping it real in real estate. Yeah. No, I like that. I like that. See what you guys think about that. But it's true. I mean,
Or if you can come up with a better idea.
there you go. There you go. Also, guys, we are going to be doing some giveaways. So to our listeners out there, people that stick around, listen to it. I mean, we're almost an hour in now. We were 25 minutes for our first one. So people that stick in, stick around, give some feedback. We're gonna do funny real estate stories, okay? Or horror stories, whichever one you guys got. Send them in. All right. You can DM us if you want, either one of us. Or drop a comment down and we'll get in touch with you guys or whatnot. DM us your stuff, and if we use your story in one of our podcasts, we will put you in a draw for that week to win a prize. Now, I don't know what the prize is going to be. Could be something from a local bakery here. It could be going to a movie. It could be anything. I don't know. What do you think?
I like it.
Yeah.
Should feature something local, I guess, that'd be the best thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
We
Yeah,
could
do
impart
something
our
local.
knowledge on people too and possibly hunt out some hidden gems and all that,
Yeah.
there.
I don't know about anybody else because if you guys like bakeries, let me tell you this before we go. There's a bakery here. I'm in Paradise, okay? There's a bakery here called Cakey Hand. Now, I never ever went there until like the last couple of months ago, right? And I like cinnamon buns, okay? And the wife likes cinnamon buns, all right? I've tried many different cinnamon buns, guys. There's not another cinnamon bun, I'm convinced, that is going to beat this cinnamon bun. I can guarantee you right now. You go in there and you get a cinnamon bun, and it's going to change your day. If you're having a bad day, grab yourself a coffee or a tea or a latte or whatever you drink, mocha like a latte, whatever it's called. Grab yourself one of those cinnamon buns, and then I want you to just sit down, close your eyes, bite into the cinnamon bun, and be like, man, that guy's right. My day just brightened up. I mean, it could be the sugar here. It could be I'm
That's the
going
clouds
into a
passing by the sun.
yeah, it could be right. Could be just the clouds passing by the sun. Could be a diabetic coma. I don't know, but something's happening. I feel good, and that's I'm telling you, it's comfort. It's good.
And they got 2 locations too. One's on, Topsail Road, 1483, and the other one's 16 Stavanger Drive. Yeah,
Yes, and if you didn't know any better, you think we're reading it off a card, and you know what? You're right. We did just read that off a card. You guys are amazing, right? Anyway, guys, listen, we're gonna let you go there. Enjoy your weekend wherever you are. I hope you have a great weekend. I hope lots of good things come your way the weekend with some nice weather. Hopefully we do get some nice weather.
that's Newfoundland. Wait 5 minutes and it'll change.
That's both reassuring and depressing at the same time, Brett. That's
It's the truth. You said you wanna keep it real.
that's true. That's
There's no
true. Okay.
sugarcoat it.
Yeah, you got it. Anyway, guys, have a good one. We will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Bye.